I'm not wearing this shirt because Zoro is toxic, okay? This is just what I'm wearing today. With the reveal of Corbo, a new poison type specialist in Pokemon Legends ZA who has made quite the impression on numerous people, myself included. It made me realize how awesome the poison type has become in recent generations. I mean, it definitely wasn't always this way, that's for sure. We didn't have a specific poison type specialist from Generation 2 to Generation 5. Like, not even Black and White Generation 5. We're talking Black to White to Generation 5. That's a long time. I mean, we're talking about the same type that was only super effective on one type for several generations. One type. Aside from Generation 1, where it was weirdly super effective on the bug type for some reason, I have no idea why. Because that's literally the only game that it was super effective on bug, and then bug was super effective on poison, and then they just took that away. And all poison type attacks before the physical special split in Generation 4 were physical attacks, and that screwed over quite a number of poison type Pokemon. So needless to say, the poison type was just getting dogged left and right. The poison type was not getting nothing. The poison type was the epitome of getting caught out in the rain without an umbrella, a jacket, or literally anything that could help you get home. You forgot your keys, your rent's not paid, your car has no gas. Like, that's essentially what the poison type and where it was at. But since the fairy type's introduction in Generation 6, I feel like the poison type has taken a big pivot and made a complete turnaround to where it is now a very useful type to use, which is a drastic change. Being super effective on fairies, which were essentially the new it girls of the competitive Pokemon ladder, really benefited them. And I personally feel that designs for poison type specialists and many poison type Pokemon recently have also stepped up their game. In truth, I've really been wanting to make this video for a while now, talking about the poison type, because I have become such a big fan of the typing. It should not have taken this thirst trap of a Yakuza boss to make me finally do this video and talk about it, but here we are. I like what I like. What can I say? The point still stands. In doing research for this video, I found out that M&J TV actually made a fantastic video talking about this exact same subject, so if you are also passionate about the poison type and talking about from here to there, this is another great video to watch about it. If you love poison type Pokemon, definitely let me know down in the comment section below by telling me which poison type Pokemon is your favorite and why. While you're down there, you should also totally hit that subscribe button if you don't want to be toxic. Nah, I'm just kidding. Unless. But if we're gonna talk about the poison type, we gotta talk about the poison type where it all began, where they started. We're gonna start with the then. Fun fact, in Generation 1, the poison type was actually the most plentiful typing, even more than grass or water types, which came as a huge shock to me. Maybe that's just because so many of them were not great. Look, girl, no tea, no shade, but some of these poison type Pokemon were not it, especially with questionable movesets and psychic types being the menace they were in Generation 1. These little toxic creatures never stood a chance. But you want to know what also didn't help the poison type? In the very next generation, introducing a typing that was completely immune to it. The steel type really just came in and kicked the poison type while it was down. The Pokemon Company really treated the poison type like it was one of their awful exes. Like it wanted nothing to do with them, but at the same time it took every opportunity to attack. Adding the steel type is essentially the scenarios I was giving earlier for a bad day that the poison type was having, but just add in that it just got its wallet stolen. Like just another bad thing on top of already a lot of bad things. The poison type it wasn't getting a lot of luck, okay? There wasn't a lot of good stuff happening for the poison type at this point in time. I don't know who the poison type pissed off, but apparently it was somebody important. There was also this trend that poison types at this point in time were really only used by two separate groups of people: criminals and villains trying to terrorize their regions and its citizens, and ninjas. No shade, I love Koga, Janine, and Team Rocket. But this continued to be the case until Roxy in Generation 5. We got no poison type specialist reps other than the occasional grunt using a poison type Pokemon or the occasional trainer using a poison type. There was also the fact that there were many ghost specialists in the early generations, and all of them were just using poison type Pokemon. So you could just call them poison type specialists too. Even the dark type was getting more representation because they at least were getting a bunch of like Elite Four members. The poison type couldn't even get that. Roxy, I feel like, was the start of something new for the poison type and showed a glimmer of potential that poison type specialists and trainers can be a lot more versatile in terms of design, and they don't have to be just criminals or ninjas. We can also be in rock bands. Maybe there is just a slight bias to me loving and talking about Roxy so much because she uses Whirlipede, which is one of my favorite poison type Pokemon to exist. I just think it's really, really adorable. I love it. So I think that Roxy's great. So long story short, from generations 1 to 5, we got a lot of different poison type Pokemon. We got a couple specialists, but none of it really felt truly special or usable or viable until Generation 6 came around. Generation 6 changed everything. True, we did not receive a poison type specialist in this generation, but we received something more. The poison type got something that it needed for a long time. A second type that it was super effective against after the bug type got so nastily snatched away. The new fairy type came to dethrone the dragon type from its long reign of being at the top, completely immune to it, and effectively became a massive competitive threat. A very pink and adorable threat, but a threat nonetheless. But of course, the fairy type did need a weakness, and it was weak to not only steel, but to poison. Not only does it just make a lot of sense lore-wise for fairy to be weak to poison, but thank Arceus that they did, because poison became 10 times more viable for the fact that it was strong and super effective against one of the most dominant typings on the competitive scene. Fairy types became scary to most Pokemon, but not to the poison type. Unless you're a steel fairy type, then I guess you're not threatened at all. You can just move on with your life, grab a matcha, and just go home, because it's no cause for concern. Also, this reminds me, I just want to talk about for a quick second and deviate from the subject. Do you mind? I made a video way back when talking about how much I love Tinkaton and how Tinkaton is one of my favorite Pokemon ever. And I literally say in that video, I don't know what was going through my brain or what I was doing or how distracted I was, but I say that Tinkaton and Zacian are the only Steel Fairy type Pokemon. Apparently Mawile and Klefki just don't exist. I even love Mega Mawile. Like, what was I doing? I call myself a Pokemon master. I literally make Pokemon YouTube videos. What was I doing? Okay, I'll move on. I just needed to drag me for a second, okay? Like, if you can't drag yourself, how in the hell are you gonna drag somebody else? Can I get an amen?
Can I get a gay man?
But that all being said, Gen 6 effectively boosted the poison type as a whole just by doing this. And I think that they really start caring about it more as a whole moving forward in every generation. From Gen 7 onwards, we not only got so many great new poison type Pokemon that some even make my favorites list, like Overquill, Glamora, Toxtricity, Salazzle, and Clodsire. We even got our first poison type legendaries with Eternatus and the Loyal 3, if you count them as legendaries. There were also some poison Ultra Beasts, if you want to call those legendaries. We also got our first poison type mythical with Pecharunt, and I love Pecharunt, okay? I love Pecharunt a lot. And considering I own a plushie of Pecharunt, I'm a big fan. If I have a plushie of a Pokemon, that means that I'm a massive fan of it. But we also got a new rep every single generation to our current generation now for poison as well, and I think that all of them are good, if not great. Plumeria has a great design, and I love the older sister vibe she brings to Team Skull. She also uses Salazzle, and I love that Pokemon so freaking much, and so she definitely holds a special place in my heart just because of that. Clara is a perfect poison type specialist in my opinion, being very cutesy and fashionable and adorable, but has those nasty moments, and I vastly prefer her over Avery. I don't know why I have an affinity for characters like this, but I think that characters like Clara are just so funny. Like, I just love watching characters like that. Would probably dislike them in real life, let's not mince words, but in video games, glamorous, love it. Melly is hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. He is giving Harley from the Pokemon anime like times 10. And we all know how much of an icon Harley was. Atticus, although a ninja, has so much more to him, and I think that he is adorable. He designs all of the fashion and costumes for Team Star, but he also speaks in like Shakespearean English. And as a fellow actor, as a fellow person who likes to weaponize their BFA, I appreciate it. I understood everything you were saying, Atticus. And now, finally, we've gotten to the reason for the season. Let's talk about Corbo. I think aside from Roxy, he is my favorite design poison specialist, and I cannot wait to see how they utilize him in Pokemon Legends ZA. Maybe with a Mega Arbok, perhaps? Who knows? I just saw it in the trailer, but I would like to see it. I love seeing a type that I think was underutilized for so long and hadn't reached its fullest potential reach its top potential. I really feel like it's hit its stride, and it is so solid now. I think the last thing I'm waiting for is that final ice poison type combo that we have not yet received. I think there is a lot of amazing and crazy design potential for an ice poison type. Now that I think about it, ice is another type that I feel like deserves so much more for how awesome it really is. More like the glass cannon type. But I think that the future for poison type Pokemon and its specialists looks bright. Or dim, whatever they prefer. And I look forward to seeing all the new stuff coming in the future for it. That's all for today's video. I just wanted to do a little rant about poison types inspired by Corbo, which no one is shocked about. Actually, no one is surprised. If you made it to this point in the video, let me know by going down below and telling me your favorite poison type Pokemon, and also feel free to tell me your favorite poison type specialist if you want to too. But let me not be toxic and wrap up today's video. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye. I just wanted to see how long I could do that. Bye.